Good evening, brothers and sisters. I'm President Gray of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and I just wanted to take just a few minutes and sit down with our police chief, Chief Pat Walsh, and just kind of talk a little bit about some of the challenges that we're seeing in the community and see what we could do as a church. But most importantly, we're very, very grateful for he and his staff and for their service to our wonderful little community. So I'm just going to ask him a few questions and let him talk and share just a few things, but we're just so grateful to have him. So, Chief, what kind of things are you seeing out there that...
Well, first off, President Gray, thanks for having me. You know, it's been a difficult year. I think nobody can argue that. One of the things we're seeing is there's a lot of people in crisis, worried about their jobs, worried about their kids not going to school, worried about getting sick or sick ones. And so we're seeing a lot of stress, a lot more than we're used to. I looked at our statistics the other day, and our assaults are going through the roof, and what that means is that there's domestic abuse going on, child abuse going on in the home because everybody's stuck in the home, and so we're seeing a lot of trauma in families right now. So we're a little concerned about that. Obviously we're all hoping that we get out of this lockdown and this coronavirus, but in the meantime, there's a lot of stuff going on in our community and with our young people. I was sharing before we went started recording that we've had some pretty traumatic incidences with children, with attempt suicides and actual couple suicides, which happens, but it seems to be happening a little more frequently, and it's not just Menifee. As a police chief, I'm part of an international group of police chiefs, and we all share ideas and talk and try and figure out how to reduce crime and engage with the community and all the things we talk about. And this is a big topic for all of us. So there's a lot of trauma going on in our families right now.
Okay, yeah, that's. We certainly understand that, and we appreciate your efforts there. We've always considered ourselves as members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, service-oriented, and like to reach out to people and kind of make sure that their needs are being met. Do you have, what could we do as a church to help you and your staff and to be more supportive there of individuals and families?
Well, I have to start by saying every place I've worked, the LDS Church has come to my community and cleaned up and done all kinds of community service, and that's already occurred here in Menifee, and I'm always impressed and very grateful for that. I would say with what we're talking about with the stress in the families, I'm a big proponent of prayer, and I think when whole churches beseech God, he listens, and I think all our prayers are heard. But I think when several hundred people are telling God the same thing, I think he probably just shakes his head like, okay, I'll answer it. So prayer obviously is huge for me. I'm a big believer in prayer, and so for me, if a church dedicated prayer for struggling families, struggling marriages, kids that are struggling, the kids that are struggling that we're dealing with, they don't know how to express themselves, and they're stuck in front of a computer screen and being told to do their homework while their parents are in the other room being stressed out about whatever else they're dealing with, and they don't have other people to interact with, teachers, counselors at school, the PE teachers, all those adults that you come across when you're at school. So definitely pray for the children. I would say that we need to connect more as a community. And I'm guilty of it as well. I don't think we know our neighbors as well as we could. I think, TV and life and social media and all the things that take you away from just having a conversation at the mailbox with your neighbor has affected us. And so, I would say, I have an assistant who I just love her, and her saying is reach one, teach one. I think take care of your neighbors, at least know who they are, and exchange phone numbers. And, I have an elderly neighbor, lives by herself, and, I try and check in on her. I always look at her house, make sure everything's squared away before I turn in for the night. I just want to know. I want to make sure she's okay. I think, we were sharing before that, we meet so many people in our lives, but we get busy with our own life and we forget about them. And so one of the things that I've always told myself to do is to check up on people. And I forget to do it as well, but often, at least a couple times a week, somebody pops into my mind that I haven't thought about for years. And if that persistent thought keeps coming to me, I take it as a sign God wants me to call or text them. I've texted people in the middle of meetings, hey, I'm sitting in a meeting, I'm bored to death, and I was thinking about you. Just something goofy. And then they'll call out of the blue, like, Pat, I haven't talked to you in 5 years. How are you? And we reconnect. And I don't know if maybe that connection helped them or not. I know it helped me. I feel better because they're no longer coming to my mind. But I just think community connection and connecting with friends and family that we just don't talk to because we get busy is important.
Thank you. Just to piggyback onto what Chief Walsh has said, and I want to shortly issue an invitation to you tonight. This Sunday on February 7th is our Fast Sunday, and Chief Walsh, you're welcome to join with us and those in whom you come in contact with, your friends, your staff. But I want you to join me in fasting on our Fast Sunday. And I would hope in your fast that you would think about a family or an individual. And we know how promptings work in the gospel of Jesus Christ. Just like he said, God sometimes talks to us. He does. But we're going to feel promptings. We're going to feel a connection with somebody. And so I hope and pray that we will take that time to prayerfully consider somebody that we can help reach out and talk to. I have a testimony of the gospel. I'm grateful for it. I know that it's a very, very important part of our lives. I'm so grateful for Chief Walsh for sharing and taking time away from his busy schedule to come share a few thoughts with us. And at the end of our little conversation here, we're going to be able to listen to some of our primary children sing a wonderful primary song. Know that I love you. I know that he also shares that same sentiment, that he loves the community of Menifee. He's grateful to be here serving, I would assume, yes?
All right, very grateful, very grateful.
And we're so grateful to have you. Anyway, so please join us on Sunday, February 7th. Thank you.
Thank you.
God.